collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your work, career, vocation read. Timeless, but doing them for the month of October and November 2021. Forgot what year it was, what month it was. I am your reader, Angelo, Lyons Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of DrawingTheCircle production since 1998, author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch, available on Kindle, link in the description box. The Archangel of Lyons, Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal. Fellow Earth sign, I am a Virgo, self-employed for a very long time, wouldn't have it any other way. So here to serve. It is a 12-card spread using 4 different decks, 2 of which is tarot, and it is essentially a 3-level of power reading. 3 levels of power as defined by Caroline Myss. There's a link in the description box of a lecture for doing that here on YouTube. If you would like to check that out, think of it as 3 levels of power, like a reason, a season, or a lifetime, or eau de toilette, cologne, perfume. We're going to be looking at your life purpose through the lenses of work, career, and vocation. There are chakras involved. I'll explain all that as I go. Whatever flies out of my mouth is usually what serves whoever is watching. So let's get up in this gig. It's a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Check your other signs. Certainly your sun sign information is going to get different information than your moon sign. One would think the sun sign would be more about your work, but the moon sign may be more about your career, and your Venus more about your vocation, and I'll explain those differences if you are new to these readings as we go. Guess that's about it, except to say both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. I will do the same to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can about one of the most important things that we can do is to bring our work, career, and vocation into alignment, fulfilling our divine purpose. It's not just about making money, but it's not about making money. Double negative. So, yeah, I've been doing these readings for people for decades. So if you want to book me for a private reading, watch the video below, Booking a Reading with Mal. I just watched it again today. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it, and I enjoy watching it, and I hope you do too. Otherwise, both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. Let's do this. Breathe. That breath. Here we go. As I call upon the collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of life, purpose through work, career, and vocation, and the higher selves of all involved in this Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, work, career, vocation read. 3 levels of power. Get me 3 Caroline Myss archetype cards here to represent the 8th chakra dynamic of their work, their career, and their vocation in 3 levels of power. The soul lessons there being learned, the alchemy from lead to gold, shadow to light, pain to peace, toxic to healthy in their work. And please 1 for their career. There we go. Boop. And 1 for their vocation, right? So work is your survival intuition, career is your creative intuition, and vocation is your visionary intuition. Every chakra has its own voice of intuition, but you can group them in that way. So think of these as 3 different entities in your life: your work, your career, your vocation, but they're all related, like siblings. And this is lovely. Well, that one in the middle, I get why people would want to avoid that one. Probably somebody didn't watch that because the victim's in the center. But that's a survival family archetype. Everybody has the victim/victor, as in victory, archetype, because all archetypes are neutral. A scale of lead to gold, shadow to light, etc. So you've got the liberator in your work, the victim/victor in your career, and the teacher in your vocation, which I love that. So we've got an action family archetype, a survival family archetype, and a wisdom family archetype. So you could read this 2 different ways. You are the liberator, victim, teacher. Let's change that. You are the liberator, victor, as in the spoils of war go to the victor, like victory, teacher, or the teacher, victor, liberator. Play with that, right? Because not everybody gets paid for their work. I don't. My work in the world is making the videos, not necessarily my major source of income, right? It's the president, part of it. It's the scheduling, and I'm an S corporation of one, right? Self-employed on that level. So it's a lot of work that I don't get paid for. I get paid for my career, my teaching, my healing, my reading, my artistry, and all that. So you see what I'm saying? Feel that one out. Now I'm going to read these to you really quickly. The shadow and the light here. The shadow attribute of the Liberator archetype, imposing your own tyranny over those you claim to liberate. That's ancient. This is just an old story. Ignoring legitimate constraints. And I always stick with a very simple example, right? Someone's in a recovery program. They're not drinking alcohol. They come to a party. Somebody comes up to them and say, come on, it's a party, have a drink, right? That's ignoring a legitimate constraint. The light attribute, freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs, releasing negative thought patterns, which in the workspace is not that easy, but that could also be you learning the lesson to liberate yourself from some of the mind conditioning, to liberate yourself from the chains that bind. Break chains of illusion and set all things to right. Reveal what has been hidden and bring the truth to light, right? So interesting, a liberation vibe there. In your career, like I said, survival family archetype. Everybody's got the child archetype, the victim-victor archetype, the saboteur-empowerer archetype, and the prostitute archetype, which has very little to do with being a hooker. Just saying. Sacred Contracts, Carolyn Myss, brilliant book. You can find tons of her lectures. You probably even find her lectures here on YouTube. The shadow attribute, playing the victim for positive feedback in the form of pity, inability to maintain personal boundaries, which in your career, because it is in the personal level of power, can be tricky, right? Who do you share things with? Who do you not, right? Who do you trust? Who do you not? But everybody has to learn. I mean, even countries have the 4 survival archetypes, right? That the victim archetype is the guardian of self-esteem and boundaries, right? So self-esteem and boundaries, those things are very interconnected. So the light attribute prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others. Because in truth, the way the archetype works is that everyone who is a victimizer at some point had to be victimized, and then that's not even scratching the surface of how we victimize ourselves, right? So there's a lot on the table there with that one card, particularly in your career, although opportunities, that's the thing. You want to know if you're dealing with a victim archetype so that you can do the alchemy to overcome it by reevaluating. Self-esteem is a verb, not a noun. It's not something you have or don't have. It's something you do, whether you're aware of it or not. Make that conscious and readjust your boundaries. Boundaries always have to shift and change as we grow and evolve. Don't talk to strangers. Brilliant for a 4-year-old. Horrible in a 44-year-old. How are you going to order a pizza? Well, through your phone. Send. Teacher archetype. I have this in spades, the teacher archetype. But as a calling, this may be a spiritual teacher I'm talking to here, but let's really look at the dynamic. The shadow attribute, manipulating or abusing students. We've certainly seen that in spiritual teachers over forever. Teaching negative traits and destructive skills. Now remember, you do not have to be standing in front of a blackboard, in this case a pen board. You don't have to be a literal teacher to have the teacher archetype. The word facilitator is from the French facile, to make simple, the simplitator, make things simple. The instructor. Everybody teaches, they teach by example. This is different. It's a wisdom family archetype. So, teaching negative traits and destructive skills is alive and well on planet Earth. The light attribute, ability, think of that word, ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, and or wisdom. Very powerful thing here. So if that is your calling as a teacher, mine is, although I put teacher in my center column, right? The career part of that. I'm a mystic in my spiritual calling. So I can relate to this, right? Liberating people, yourself, right? In your work. We'll talk about the outside world, the external world in a bit. Some internal boundaries resetting. A need to reevaluate where you are, your self-estimation. And with a wisdom archetype kind of guiding this, even if, like, I'm self-taught. I'm the word is autodidact. I just learned that word last year. I'm so excited. New word. Virgo, new word. Right? So, and I look back over my life. I taught myself tarot. I mean, read 10,000 books, read 10,000 clients, it feels like, learned the hard way. You know, and that's why I can teach it. I only teach what works for me as a spiritual teacher, and I'm not for everybody. So, let's keep going. Not everybody's cup of oolong, apparently, and that's all right, too. I don't need to be. Please take a nice deep breath. Because below that 8th chakra, there are 4 chakras we're going to look at next. The crown, the third eye, the throat, the heart. Your spiritual power, your mental power, your power of choice, willpower, and your emotional power. What's going on here? Breathe. All right. My goddesses of earth, a sign of Capricorn, powers of the north. Please, 3 cards face up for the Capricorn collective sun, moon, rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading in their work, career, vocation. 3 levels of power spread. They've got the Liberator in their work, action, family archetype in the 8th, heart, third eye, crown. The card of revelation, celebration, the card of judgment in the traditional tarot. Rider-Waite is usually what I refer to. Their deck's older than that. We are really looking at something being revealed here. I'm going to go very crown and third eye on this. Looks like women circle dancing on a mountain, but then you pull back, you say, oh, they're dancing on the belly of the mother. Do you see it? Look in the foreground by my fingers. These are breasticles, right? And you're like, oh, they're dancing around her navel. Now that's what the Judgment card to me is really about. Something being revealed. A revelation. Even if you look at the Rider-Waite Tarot, it's Gabriel blowing Gabriel's horn. Judgment Day, right? In the book of Revelations. I didn't make that up, right? So obviously for a Liberator archetype, that can be something is revealed, the next card being the universe, the world, in this deck, Shakti, the life dancer completing a cycle. So that's cool. What do they got in their career here with this victim archetype? What's their heart, third eye, crown for their personal level of power? Not just 2 major arcana cards in a row. You got the Chariot, the Amazon, my Wonder Woman card in this deck. I mean, this is really about motivation and inspiration being balanced. This does not feel like someone who's playing victim. This feels like someone who's grabbing the reins, taking their inspiration, the light horse, and their motivation, the dark horse, and balancing them. And just to explain it again, because I love this, every morning we have to do this. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh good, I'm going to do this and this and this and this and this today. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I got to do that and that and that and that and that so that I can do this and this, right? To just channel it all in one direction. It's a Cancerian card. It's definitely an emotional card. But I would say that really speaks to you more as being the victor here. I have to say that's the vibe I got on it. Just wanted to see what else hit the table. Let's look at the teacher in their vocation. What's going on there in their spiritual calling, heart, third eye, crown? The Ace of Blades, the Ace of Swords, the Pythia, the Sibyl, the Oracle of Delphi, huffing ethylene gas out of cracks in the wall, going off, speaking in tongues. Someone else wrote it down and a third person translated it, okay? The Pythia, the 3 of them, the Oracle of Delphi. Definitely something hitting your third eye big time there, right? With that teacher. In terms of spiritual calling, you'll notice I don't use this word a lot on YouTube. This could be downloads coming in from something higher, a real piece of perhaps higher self-wisdom, but it would make sense that, right? Come here. I polished the table today. That it would trigger this revelation that liberates you in your work. See, they're not really 3 separate things. They're looking at the same thing through 3 lenses. Got it? Oh, that's so hot. Let's keep going. Let me see what this looks like. I'm not even a Capricorn. I have no planets in Capricorn. I don't care. I love Capricorns. And I will say it again. I think I say it in every Capricorn reading now. I would marry a Capricorn. I would. Virgo Capricorn's a pretty good vibe. Let's take a look. Lower 3 chakras here. Now, these are about your relationships in the physical world. Root chakra, your tribes, your groups, your families of friends, your nationalities, your racial consciousness, all of the different tribes. Great exercise. Spend a week, write it down, make a note on your phone, like a notepad thing. List all the different tribes you're in. You'd be surprised. No wonder we're so tired. All right. Here we go. Second chakra, one-on-one relationships, not just with other people, but with money. Remember, this is also about getting paid, these readings, but your solar plexus, I feel like, is the one that's really key here, and that's your relationship to yourself, your relationship to your personal power, your self-esteem, that's what I'm saying, that victim-victor archetype there, and your honor code, particularly as the Amazon. Themyscira forever. Breathe. Shift of consciousness as I now shift to the masculine energy here. Lower 3 chakras, the mythic tarot, as I call upon my gods of Capricorn. The element of earth. Ooh, this feels tricky. Powers of the north. I get, oh, now I see. What are they being liberated from? What needs liberation here? Lower 3 chakra dynamic, please. From the inside, looking out at the Capricorn. Capricorn looking out from the inside. Some of that, all of that. Liberator in their work with celebration. The judgment card, revelation on the inner. Oh yeah, and on the outer, there we go, 3 of blades. Everybody calls it the heartbreak card, but this is really about getting to the heart of the matter. Got one person chilling out in a bathtub, 2 people stabbing him in the heart with the third one there just for fun. This could absolutely be an emotional upset. We don't often put the word heartbreak in context with work, but why not, right? Why not? Heartbreak is essentially about disappointment, whether it's stabbed in the front or stabbed in the back. Definitely there's something here that, though there may be some emotional upset here, I'm going to tell you that card is saying go within, right? There's a revelation inside of you, something that may liberate you from what could be a very painful situation, but you got to get to the core of it, and it feels like you will. Hence, what's going on in your career here, this insight, this clarity that's coming with this Liberator archetype and that Ace of Blades in your career, it seems pretty vital. So please, my gods, what's going on in their career? Victim-victor archetype in the 8th, Amazon on the inner, and the Star on the outer. I feel like you're getting liberated from perhaps a mentally as well as possibly emotionally stressful work situation. Something is revealed to you. You change the way that you think about it, right? You break a chain of belief. A belief is just the thought you rehearse. Thank you, Abraham Hicks. They said something like that. So that star following your inspiration shining, that you have the ability with that Amazon, come on, the Chariot on the inner, the Star on the outer, this could absolutely you being rising up, you know, from whatever this is going on in your work and really following your star shining. Now, to me, the Star is the highest vibrational card in the deck. People say, well, about the sun? The sun's supposed to be the happiest. Yeah, but in terms of altitude, here's Earth, Moon, Sun, Star, right? So it is definitely the highest vibe card in the entire tarot. So to really set your sights on your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, and radiate your light, shine your light at full capacity here. Feels like there's an enlightenment going on here with these 3, right? Liberator in work, the Star in the career, and the Ace of Blades with a wisdom family archetype of the teacher in your vocational calling. I feel like your leverage really here is in your career. Every reading I can feel where the leverage is. Tinker with one, the other 2 will balance out. Although that revelation there, that celebration seems pretty key too. All right, so lower 3 chakras here. My gods of Capricorn, Earth, powers of the North, lower 3 chakras for their vocation. The teacher in the 8th, the Sibyl, the Oracle of Delphi on the inner, and the Empress on the outer, you've got some I mean, all major arcana cards are major, but with only 6 tarot cards in this spread, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 6, right? Let me count. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, no, 4 out of 6. That's a predominance. This is definitely a powerhouse for you because the Empress, particularly, this could be someone you're dealing with as well, a divine feminine vibe, either you from the outside looking in, you from the inside looking out at this person, but it could easily be both. This could be a spiritual teacher, certainly, or you being a spiritual teacher, or you self-teaching yourself with information, inspiration, insight coming in through your crown chakra to your third eye, right? But with the Empress, I mean, that's all the queens of the tarot together as one. It's the spirit queen. This is Demeter, the goddess of grain and agriculture. Not necessarily Mother Earth, that's Gaia. She's not the entire planet, Demeter, but she is the fertile topsoil, definitely the mother of the maiden mother crone dynamic there. That there is unconditional love here. There is that full sense of support and abundance and of being given everything that you need, maybe not everything you want, like a mother. Right? Think about that. I mean, I wasn't given everything I wanted, but I was given everything I needed, right? And the things that I didn't get, I went out for, right? So there might be a piece of that here. Like, the message I'm getting from this is that you really got to get that love is the answer, but even in your work, career, and vocation. So it does feel like this information that's coming in, you are being taught something so that you can teach it by example. In your career, really reevaluating yourself, seeing your light and letting it shine. Because honestly, on this planet, as much as people say, shine your light, shine your light, shine your light, just not brighter than me, thank you very much. Come on, the majority of the population, not everybody, obviously, right? So there might be like a real limiting situation here, but really to shift your beliefs on it is the key. The revelation comes there. I like this for you a lot. I like this for you a whole lot. And you may very well be playing a role as a spiritual teacher, given insight, known or unknown. Like maybe you know it, but you're just a little undercover about it. Right? Like I could see several different people playing that role that way, bringing their vocation into their work. All right, last 3 cards down. Matt Kahn Healing Mantra Deck. These are the mantras that will help you heal and balance, and I would certainly focus on whatever the career one is here. That feels like that's your leverage. Please take a nice deep breath. Like I say, watch all your signs, get all the mantras, work all the mantras. As I call upon the Ascended Masters of life purpose, through the lenses of work, career, and vocation, 3 levels of power. What are the perfect healing mantras for the Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this, I feel, very, very fun and powerful read, except for that 3 of Swords. Everything else here is just peachy. What would be the perfect healing mantra for their work? Liberator in the 8th, Revelation, Celebration, the Judgment card in the inner, and 3 of Swords on the outer. You're gonna... I do this for a living, and still I get a little, I wouldn't say gobsmacked, but activating my third eye. I am willing to see beyond my beliefs, ideas, and conclusions. Now, what was the light side of that again? Freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs, releasing negative thought patterns. Now, the key here is a little bit of a throat as well as a third eye mantra here. I am willing to see beyond my beliefs, ideas, and conclusions. So remember, like a Bic pen. This is not a Bic pen. This is a Wonder Woman, Superman versus Batman thing with a light that shines the Wonder Woman insignia because Wonder Woman. But Bic, B-I-C, like a lighter, beliefs, ideas, and conclusions. Because to see beyond the conclusions, we make conclusions and it's the gods laugh. They're like, oh, that's what you think this is about. We see such a teeny, teeny part of the picture. So in your work, very, very perfect, in alignment, activating the third eye, which of course, with that card of Revelation there. It's pretty good. Feels good too. Feels good in my solar plexus. Right, Ascended Masters, let's give us another one here. They've got the Victim-Victor archetype. Honestly feels like they're more in the Victor side of this, with the Amazon on the inner and the star on the outer, shining their light, following their truth, manifesting their destiny, or at least tuning to it. What's their perfect healing mantra for their career, please? Balancing the brain. I think this is like the 4th or 5th time this mantra has come up. I can be and do all at once. This is about the balancing of the left and right brain hemispheres. This is about the balancing of the masculine and feminine energy. And I prefer yin and yang. In the West, we say masculine, feminine, and it makes it about body parts. I know that's not true, but we can't not hear it that way. So if you really think of it as your active, and passive's not a good word either, right? But here's one, electromagnetic. I'm right-handed. That's my power hand. That's the yang, energy, doing. Being, the feminine, the magnetic, the receptive. This is about being in the present moment. This is about being mindful, that you don't have to meditate for 6 hours to do a 6-hour job afterwards. You can make this process you are in right now in your career a balancing of it. It is also about feeling the intuition and in the moment acting on it, following your star, but doing it like an Amazon with the chariot, with that emotional power behind it. This is pretty cool. I like it. They're like puzzle pieces. Well, all the spreads are supposed to be like puzzle pieces, but that does make sense, right? Particularly in the reevaluation of yourself. Balance the brain. You're doing way better than you realize. We all are. Let's look here. My Ascended Masters, their vocation. Last card down. Teacher archetype in the 8th chakra of their vocation, the Sibyl, the Oracle of Delphi, really pointing to the inspiration of the star and the revelation of the Judgment card in their work. It's like a through line. Please, what is the perfect healing mantra, particularly with the Empress on the outer? Definitely getting that feeling of wealth, but like physical, material, abundance sort of wealth, but with it, that unconditional love, that real mastery of the divine feminine here in some way, shape, or form. What's their mantra? Integrating the ego. Everything is for me, not against me. Now, I teach Course in Miracles. I live a Course in Miracles. That is my spiritual spine. That's an eclectic witch for you. A witch that'll pick up and study the Course in Miracles for 20 years. That's an eclectic. The Course in Miracles says that this is not happening to you. It's happening for you. This is very, very similar. Everything is for me, not against me. And that would make sense from a vocational place, right? This is about flipping the script. This is totally about the victim archetype as well. You're being taught and will be able to teach, maybe literally or by example, that everything is here to help me. Everything is here to help you. Everything that happens is part of a larger plan that, honestly, the 8th chakra sees it much easier than the lower 3, right? Shifting your levels of consciousness here, but the balance needs to be in your heart, throat, third eye, crown, to be and do. I feel like a lot of things are going to be revealed to you with all of this. And by the way, everything is for me, not against me, does not mean you have to like it, nor immediately accept. You can accept that you don't accept it even, but it is often in hindsight when we see what Matt Kahn called in his book, Everything is Here to Help You. Really, really good book, his second book. He calls it The Grace of Devastation. Now, I wrote a book about words of grace, and I had written it before I had read that book. I think I might have even put it out before he put it out, the original edition of Words of Grace. And I was like, The Grace of Devastation. I laughed because of my own work with grace. But then, like, I look back and I go, yeah, I've been devastated a lot. And I mean, particularly work, career, vocation. That's not why I wrote Words of Grace. My career got devastated. And, you know, here I am on the other side going, that all happened for me. I'm much happier and healthier now. I don't have to answer to anybody. This is not my read, but man, could be. So look, everything is for me, not against me. You don't have to like the mantra, but you don't have to like lifting weights either. It's going to develop a muscle. Let me put this together. Before I do, 2 ways you can read this. Activating the third eye, balancing the brain, and integrating the ego is what this is about. But if you reverse it and you do the mantras in the other direction, everything is for me, not against me. I can be and do all at once, and I'm willing to see beyond my beliefs, ideas, and conclusions. That is a perfect flow of information in both directions here for you. Let me give you the blessing. Please take a nice deep breath, because the landscapers are back. Here we go, earth signs. As I call upon my beloved pantheons of the divine to please bless the Capricorn collective sun, moon, rising, Venus signs with all that they need in their work, career, and vocation, that they free themselves and others from outmoded beliefs, releasing negative thought patterns within themselves as a result of some sort of revelation inside of themselves that really gets to the heart of the matter, perhaps one with some mental, emotional suffering in there, but that they activate their third eye, that they be willing to see beyond their beliefs, ideas, and conclusions, because often we see through a glass darkly, New Testament reference, that in their career they can prevent themselves from being victimized or victimizing others while being the Amazon full steam ahead, really moving forward with that emotional power, that drive inside of them, balancing their motivation and their inspiration, following their star. And I'm going to say being a star, letting their light shine at full capacity while they balance the brain. They can be and do all at once. They can be all of that wonderful Sagittarian cardinal earth, right? Creative earth in that beauty, and take action at the same time as they learn to balance all of that, just like they have to balance their inspiration and their motivation, so that in their vocation they really embrace their ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, and wisdom. Feels like downloading to them on a steady but an ace of blades, new idea or ideas coming in, which I just realized now may very well manifest them as Demeter, a divine feminine. Earth signs are feminine energy, as are water signs. Air and fire are masculine dynamic. I didn't make it that way. That they really present themselves as the Empress here, really stable, really grounded, really fertile, really creative, by integrating their ego. Everything is for them, not against them. And what does that ego get integrated into but their soul? And what does the soul get integrated into but the higher self? And what does the higher self get integrated? Well, that's 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above, and pretty much a mystery to everyone still here on planet Earth, no matter what we think. But may they experience that. May they come into their alignment here in their work, career, vocation, fulfilling their life purpose moment by moment, step by step. Slow and steady wins the race. Mountain goat climbing up the mountain for their well-being and for the well-being of all. So motivate. And so it is. Pretty kick-ass, really. Only one womp-womp. Like everybody else. Balancing the brain, the return of balancing the brain. What will do tonight, brain? I don't know, Pinky. Trying to take over the world! Oh, you Capricorns, I love you all so much. Did you like the reading? Please like it. Do you feel like commenting? Wish you would. Because I like to know. Otherwise, you know, this is going out into the internet, and I have no idea how this is resonating for people, but certainly with the Liberator Victory Teacher, I'm seeing good stuff for you. So if you want a private read, you know how. Watch the video below. You want to read my book, Words of Grace? It's down there. Have at it. Otherwise, wishing you all the truly very, very best and the very, very blessed of this, my beloved sea goats. I love you all so much, my Capricorns. Good luck with this. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.